So good day everyone. We are Group 1 from BSIEICT 3F to discuss today our topic, which is what and why of performance assessment. It includes the meaning and nature, purpose, types, and its principles. So for our learning objectives, at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to first, discuss the purpose and principles of performance assessment. Second, differentiate the process-based and product-based assessment. And lastly, create a performance task under your specialized field.
Purpose of performance assessment. So, simply means demonstrate the knowledge, understanding, and skills of the student. The performance assessment is a learning activity or evaluation that requires students to demonstrate their knowledge, understanding, and skills. The purpose of performance assessment is to determine how well students are learning based on the assessment they are given. So, dito po sa performance assessment or the purpose, we often use a measurable rubrics or measurement tools for the student have a guide about their performance assessment. Nina, we have the purpose of performance-based assessment. So, ngayon naman is the elements of performance-based assessment. So, we have four. The focusing on the goal, uh, allowing students to see your expectation and how they will be graded, using critical thinking, deep thinking, and problem solving skills, and also the last one is knowing the basics. So let me have the focusing on the goal. So syempre, the learners must think about the goal that they want to achieve at the end of the assessment. So dito kasi we have the what we call takeaways. So in the end of the assessment, the student must have a takeaways or learning from that activity that they are given to them. So that is our focusing goal, that we have a takeaways for our learners. Then next will be allowing students to see your expectation and how will be graded. So the learners must know on how they will be graded by providing a rubric for the certain performance assessment. Like what I've said on the purpose of assessment, usually we're using rubrics in this kind of assessment because we need to have or we need the students to have a guide what they need to accomplish on that performance assessment. So next will be using critical thinking, deep thinking, and problem solving skills. In performance assessment, the learners must still include 21st century skills like critical thinking, problem solving as they analyze the answer in the assessment. So here, of course, the teacher will be given a problem. So of course, in this performance assessment, they need to solve it by having this uh, activity. So in this, we will need to use our 21st century literary skills that that we always or often use in any kinds of activities. So next will be knowing the basics. So the presentation or communication tool that can be used as lectures, speeches, or reports. So in this, knowing the basics, of course, we have the communication. So, of course, as a student or as a teacher, you need to have a clear understanding with you and the other person so that you will be guided and you will be understanding one or
So,
you will be
hi,
in the
good day
same path
everyone.
at the same time.
Today,
So
the next
that's
topic
all
that
for
I
the
will
elements of
discuss
performance
was
based
about
assessment.
the types of performance task. So, yung performance task po, alam naman nating lahat na it refers to the learning activities or any assessment task that allow the learners to show their knowledge, understanding, and kung ano yung alam nila or yung naintindihan nila or yung natutunan nila. So we have here seven types of performance task, and the first one is about the solving a problem, critical thinking, and problem solving 21st century skills. So here, dito papasok yung ability mo to use knowledge, facts, and data to effectively solve problems. But it doesn't mean na you need to have an immediate answer. In solving a problem, you have to able to think in your feet, assess problems, and find solutions, which means you need to think clearly, and quickly. So that is the solving a problem. The second one, um, completing an inquiry. So students ask based on their understanding. So in completing an inquiry, nagsisimula po ito in asking questions, problems, or scenarios rather than simply presenting facts or portraying a smooth path to knowledge. So ayun nga, it involves developing questions, making observations, also developing methods for experiments, developing instruments for data collection, collecting, analyzing, and of course, interpreting data. So, I would apologize po for the background noise. So, let's proceed. The third one, determining a position requires students to make a decision for position. So, in determining position, dito po papasok yung decision making and the goals the goal settings of the learners or the students. So, it might be a challenging task, but it is worth it. Sinasabi ko po sa inyo na worth it po ito dahil the information you will learn about yourself and the world you work, the world of work, combined with the real-world experiences, will put you in a better position to make informed and effective decisions about your career, set relevant goals, and you will achieve them. So, the fourth one, demonstration task to show how students use knowledge and skills. So, in the demonstration task, it refers to a variety of potential educational projects, presentations, or products through which students ayun nga, demonstrate kung ano yung natutunan nila. And it is usually a way of determining whether and to what degree they have achieved. It is typically both a learning experience in itself and a means of evaluating academic progress and achievements. So, the fifth one, developing developing exhibits. Sorry, visual presentations. So, in developing exhibits, the exhibits are of course the visual presentations or a display that needs a little or no explanation at all from the creators. So, 'di ba, if we will visit exhibits, titignan mo pa lang yung work ng isang creator, you will feel something from the art or display. So, ayan, masasabi natin the visual presentations exist. So, the second to the last one, presentation task. A task performed in an audience. So, in presentation task, ito of course lahat tayo ginagawa ito and the experience to because of our curriculum and nung senior high din, lalo na ngayon, we are future educators, marami tayong ganito. So, the presentation task is a work or task performed in front of a group of people. Dito magsasalita ka ng magsasalita to express and explain your ideas, system, process, or forecast, or it can be other topics that you want to present. So the last one, the capstone performances, tasks that occur at the end of the program study. So the capstone performances enables the students or the learners to share their knowledge and skills in the context that matches the world of practicing professionals. So ayun, tinatawag din itong capstone experience, culminating project, senior exhibition, or a capstone project na nag-serve as a culminating academic and intellectual experience for the learners. So that's it for the types of performance task. And for the next meeting po, I will show you some examples of each performance task that I discussed. So, ayun lang po.
So after the types of performance task, let's now proceed to types of performance assessment. We do have here two types of performance assessment, which are process-based and product-based. But first, let's tackle about the process-based assessment. Process-based or process-oriented performance-based assessment focuses on the real task or the progress within the performance rather than the product itself. It focuses on the skills enhancement of the student during the activity. The presence of the teacher in this type of assessment is crucial for them to monitor and guide the students as they are performing the certain activity given to them. So, in a certain performance assessment, there must be an evaluation tool on how the teachers will evaluate the performance of the learners. In this type of performance assessment, there are two kinds of rubrics, which are analytic and holistic rubric. So for the analytic rubric, this rubric is used to identifying the levels of performance in each criterion. It is also useful for detailed assessment like creating a web page. So every detail must be included and followed. Next is holistic rubric. This rubric provides a comprehensive description in the evaluation itself. This kind of rubric is used for quick and general assessment. So now, let's proceed to the next type of performance assessment, which is product-based assessment. In this type of assessment, it focuses more on the products or outcome of the assessment rather than the process of making it. One of the best example is the experiment or the laboratory research.
So now let's proceed to the principles of performance assessment, which are target skills and knowledge that matter, assessment for and as learning, links curriculum and instruction and assessment, and learning by doing. So first is target skills and knowledge that matter. It focuses on the application of enhanced skills in real life. The teacher must create a performance assessment that will focus on the enhancement of the skills and knowledge of the learner that they can use as they work in real life sooner or later. Second is assessment for and as learning. As we already discussed the difference between assessment in, for, and as. So we assessment for learning is used to measure the prior knowledge or the skills of the student, while in assessment as learning is for continuous learning of knowledge and skills. The third one is in links curriculum, instruction, and assessment. The performance assessment itself must align with the school curriculum. Same goes to the instruction. Those three are like geared to one another. Everyone is crucial for the all of them to move. Then lastly is learning by doing. Learners are going to learn if they are performing it by themselves. Example in programming. If the teacher is discussing about the HTML codes or C++ codes, the learners will effectively learn as they also encoding at the same time with their teacher. So that's the four principles of performance assessment. Next.